whatever the details are, I pick it apart and choose the best course of action. Like the whole thing about engineering is we look at what can make things fail. How do we make this stronger? How do we optimize? And I approach literally every day with, okay, what's the best course of action? How can we work smart instead of working hard? And what is the easiest but most efficient way to get the result and to get the good result every single time? Consistency. That's really important.
We back again, guys, with another amazing episode of Change Agents. My name is Caleb. All right, and my next to us, we have also another Caleb, affectionately known as SoulSoundz, man.
Yes, sir.
So, how's everything going, brother?
Man, it's going great, bro.
Good,
Yeah,
good,
man.
good,
Appreciate
good.
y'all having me.
Hey, bro, you just looking at the shirt, you live your name. Huh?
Hey, man.
Bro,
Yeah.
and like I just want to say thank you, bro. Like for real, just like, you know what I'm saying? Like we met like years ago at school at Kennesaw.
Yeah.
Like it was a
Oh, you
long
went to
time ago.
KSU?
Yeah.
I knew that.
Yeah, so he been in the fold for a long time, and just like seeing your progression, seeing your growth, bro, over the years is just crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like
Appreciate
a lot
it,
of people don't know, like you started out playing in church.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
where the soul came from.
Fast forward years later, like you got, you know, actual plaques, bro.
It's crazy.
Like plaques, multiple plaques.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all at Kennesaw together?
Nah, we met, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I moved here from Syracuse originally, so I went to Syracuse,
Big difference.
Yeah.
Culture shock.
Oh, it was.
Culture shock.
Yeah, so
Hey, man, I ain't go to Kennesaw, but I went to them dorms that's right by the Waffle House. In the corner. Hey, man.
I already know.
One day I'm going to tell my story. No, no, I'm not, man. So how does it feel, bro? Like, is, you know, we got good producers. I ain't going to shout nobody out, especially not Marcel or Sammy. But, you know, they was saying how you was on Khaled's album, so I'm like, man, this is full circle, because we literally was just at Khaled House, maybe a month ago?
Yeah, that's
Month
crazy.
and a half ago. So it's just like a full circle moment, man. How does it feel to be on one of the biggest projects? I know we'll get into your backstory, but that's one of the biggest projects of the year.
It really is, man. And it's wild because Khaled was like the sound of all the summers for when we were in school and coming up. So just having that and being a part of that project, being able to contribute to that, it was an amazing moment for me.
How did you land that placement? Like, how does your process go as a person who managed artists and always looking for production and, you know, the back and forth and maybe this get cleared, maybe this don't get cleared. How did that go for you?
So collaboration, man. Like for me, all of the records that I've had produced come from collaboration. So one of my partners, Javar Rockamore, we were cooking up one day in the studio and he brought the sample, chopped it up, and we collabed on it, did the drums, I did the melodics, and really it was a done deal. So that record's been around for probably almost 6 months to a year. And so finally, when Khaled's team got a hold of it, they put their sauce on it and like made it the classic that it is now. Like there's only, I think, 2 female records on his album. Like
wow.
City Girls.
Yeah.
I guess the Future and
right, and
SZA.
And SZA, yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope, dog. That's dope. We good? Oh, flagging. I'm about to kill Rich. But yeah, man. So take us back. Like, how did you start producing? Like, how did you go from the church in Syracuse to the boards?
Man, so really, I started producing when I was a kid. So probably when I was like 11 or 12 years old. So I've been playing keys since I was 5. My parents got me classical lessons and all that. Yeah, and then a few years in, like I play by ear, and so I just hated the lessons. So I was making my own compositions and everything like that. So I had a keyboard and a karaoke machine. Remember the old karaoke machines with like 2 tape decks?
Yeah.
And so I'd have my
dub
keyboard.
one?
Yeah, a dub tape and a record tape. And so I would play the keys in, switch the tapes, put the bass in, switch the tapes. Like that was when I was like 11, 12. And then I discovered FL from LimeWire.
Wow.
LimeWire was the days,
Boy.
though. LimeWire was the days.
Like,
Wild Wild West.
Oh my God.
Hey, look.
You might have downloaded the same song 10 times. They got 10 different songs, but it
For
was
sure.
it
Hey,
was
look. If
a
she don't
time.
know, if she don't know what LimeWire is, she too young.
She too
Nah,
young.
for sure. She too
She
young.
too young, bro.
Way too young. And being that you are technically classically trained, even though you kind of went off on the rebellious tip,
Yeah.
do you look at producers who can't play instruments in a certain light?
Sometimes, because it really depends on how you are with the craft.
Okay.
Because obviously there's different type of producers. You have like the executive producers like Puff and Khaled and them that in Quincy, they don't have to play anything. They just put all the pieces in place.
Yeah,
Which is still a talent.
No,
which
it
is a
is.
gift.
It is. And that's a major part
Right.
of production. But as a composer, there's just something real special for
Right,
me.
right.
If you come from being able to play an instrument of any type, then I respect your opinion a little bit differently.
Right,
Because
right.
I know you can play and we speak the same musical language.
The same language.
You feel me?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just like a different level of respect. It's just like for me, if you call yourself a director, you don't know how to move a C-stand. It's just stuff like that. So I can resonate with that. But like it's not okay. Like as great as you are as like a producer and like the plaques and all of that, you're not just limited to that. Like you've came up and delivered for me. And you know, shout out to Culture Misfits. You delivered for Culture Misfits in a real way, in a whole different aspect.
True.
When it comes to voiceover.
Yeah.
Like, tell us a little bit about that. Like, what's your process that goes into like, you know, doing other things outside of just producing and composing music?
Yeah. So because of my background, I look at everything technically. So my major in college was aerospace engineering. That's what I come from. And so anything that I approach, I pick it apart, look at how it works, the mechanics of it, and just deliver as best on that as possible, especially with like the voiceover stuff. It's like, okay, like what accent does this need to have? Like, what's the vibe? What's the energy? And just taking all of that, being able to deliver, that's what's most important.
So let me just say this. So for the people that's out there, I want to drive one thing home. Like, whatever you are currently doing, don't just be limited to that, right? So like for me, I went to Kennesaw State. I got a marketing degree. I'm a director. I just directed a Lifetime commercial.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? For you,
Yeah.
like this man is a whole aerospace engineer. And he's producing for Khaled, Moneybag Yo, NLE Chopper.
Yeah.
The list goes on. And it's like, don't be limited to what an idea of what somebody thought your life should look like.
Yeah.
And just continue to do whatever path you have set for you. You know what I'm saying? Just
Absolutely.
continue and stay within that.
And I think it's like you have a very unique voice naturally. So it's like, I'm sure people think, oh, well, doing voiceovers is just like, you're just talking.
Right.
But there's a process to everything that's artistic.
Yeah.
And the fact that you like to pick out every piece of it is probably why you can go do anything you want to do, because you're going to find the formula that best works.
Facts.
Is that how you live just artistically, or you feel like that's how you live your whole life?
No, I approach every day like that. Every day. So whatever the details are, I pick it apart and choose the best course of action. Like the whole thing about engineering is we look at what can make things fail. How do we make this stronger? How do we optimize? And I approach literally every day with, okay, what's the best course of action? How can we work smart instead of working hard? And what is the easiest but most efficient way to get the result and to get the good result every single time? Consistency. That's really important.
Yeah.
That's real. That's real. What does a day look like for you? Do you produce every day? Do you make beats every day? Do you structure your time schedule based on your creative avenues, or are you like, it's a day by day fluid motion and you just build a structure for that day?
Yeah. So I used to do that. I used to wake up every day and it's like, okay, I got to get however many beats done today. But as I got further and further in my career, that's not always possible.
Right.
So it might be, hey, we might have to be in the studio at 2 p.m. and I got to go fly to LA tonight
Yeah.
Like you never know. Once you get to this level in producing, anything can happen any given day. But I do make sure that like now I go to the park and walk every morning, spend some time in nature, like meditate, make sure I have that personal time.
Right.
And then from there, okay, maybe I'm in the studio by 11 a.m., make a couple beats, and then, hey, maybe I have a songwriter session at 4, and then I gotta go play beats for an artist at 7. It really varies, but I definitely try to make sure I always, I take time for myself and commune with God, and that I do something productive and related to music every single day, whether it's cooking a beat, listen to a podcast, like watching a YouTube interview. Like there's just so much game.
Studying.
Yeah, studying the craft every day.
And one of the questions we probably don't dive into a lot on here is, how does that affect your dating life? Because you seem like you had the same disease that we have, where you're just so locked in on what you're doing.
Yeah.
And it's hard to, I feel like, and you know, I date women, so I don't necessarily know if this is just like a universal dating thing. But I know in my life, it's been a struggle because it feels like women need to be priority number one to feel adequate in a relationship.
Yeah.
And that's almost impossible for me to do. And it seems like it's impossible for you too.
That's tough. Like, and that's the thing, finding a woman who's understanding of your creativity and the goals.
Schedule around
Oh my God, the scheduling. Like, imagine, man, being in bed with your girl and you get a call at 1 a.m. Hey, we need you to pull up on so-and-so such and such, or we need you to cook up this and email this to so-and-so. And, oh, well, they're in LA, so they 3 hours back. And I mean...
It's probably cool for your girl the first time, like, oh my God,
right. Oh,
Drake wants you to send him something.
Right, but then,
by time 8,
they be like, bro, can't you, come on, man. Like, they calling again, like, no, you with me, or whatever. And I've been blessed, though, to only deal with women, like, recently that understand that, and they're creatives, too. I think that's important. Like, if you date another creative, then they have some understanding of, okay, your art has to be top priority. I understand. Like, there's a hierarchy now. All the time, it shifts. So, hey, maybe today, you know, you're the priority and we do whatever we got going on. But if that call comes, I got to take it.
I look at it in seasons. I don't think like we're in a season of building this creative country club out.
Yeah.
Nothing is gonna, every day this is the priority. So it's like, you know, and I've probably been too rebellious in not wanting to date people in this field.
Yeah.
Or wanting to date creatives who are like, have to have a foot in this game at all. But I don't know, maybe it is something to it.
It could be. It really depends. I find that people who don't have any understanding of it at all, then it gets to be a point of contention because they just never feel like you can prioritize them, or your work always comes before they do. Like, you got to have a partner that's willing to, when the call comes through and you not hearing the phone ring, they'll tap you and be like, hey, the work's on the line, the money's on the line, and wake you up. And I've been blessed to have that. But that ain't everybody's story in this city, I promise you.
I was gonna say this too, it's like, it's not even about the money all the time either. Like, you know, those calls are a part of who you are at this point.
Absolutely.
It's a part of your DNA. Like, you was gonna answer that call whether that person land next to you or not. So it's like, you know, for people that are, you know, in these rooms or in these relationships, it's like, you know, if Oprah, like he gave a great example on another pod. It's like, you know, if Oprah is dating Stedman, you know what I'm saying? It's like, he's not gonna tell Oprah to slow down. And if he does, like, black women gonna look at Stedman like he crazy.
Right.
Black men gonna look at Stedman like he crazy. Like, bro, what you talking about? Like,
what are you talking about?
You got Oprah next to you. Like, why can't we get that same energy? Why can't we get that same respect?
And I mean, look, man, I don't want to go too deep into it. I'm gonna get triggered in a minute, man. But it's like, I just really feel like our personal relationships are a reflection of our community relationships.
I believe that.
In our community, we don't have a lot of brevity. We don't have a lot of compromise. We don't have a lot of unselfish behavior. Like, it's not a lot of selflessness because everybody's scraping to get every little thing they can out of life.
Yeah.
So then they bring that same mentality into the relationships. But the main part of this podcast is change agents, people who are doing things and taking risks and pushing boundaries. You can't be that and like be home every day at 5 o'clock.
No, you can't. It's impossible.
It's just not gonna happen. So I like that we went to that realm because that's something we don't really talk about as black men. We ain't gonna tell you about, you know, that also is an inconvenience for us. So that's also like a sore spot for us. Like, bro, we've been trying to figure this out too.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we still got to pay for everything, so we still got to go to work.
The work got to get done.
And I love this.
Yeah.
It's not even just about what it brings me.
Right.
I love this. And, you know, we was talking about it, man, the Tom Brady thing, and I just think that's so crazy.
Oh, man.
I think that's so crazy, bro. And I have yet to have a conversation, and I seek conversations.
Yeah.
I've yet to have a conversation with a woman who understands Tom Brady's side.
Yeah, and I'll say this too, like, you know, like Tom Brady, I don't know the ins and outs of that situation. None of us do, right?
No,
but at the end of the day, like, all we trying to say is this. Life in general is about balance.
Yes.
And there's no balance when it comes to certain relationships or just the stigma around actually prioritizing yourself first and then work. Like, it's nothing wrong with that. Like you can do that.
It's cliche. Right. Everybody will tell you, put yourself first. Make sure your
man,
mental health is good. Nah, it don't work like that. It don't work like that.
Like sometimes, like helping my mental health is getting up and going to work, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
it should be.
That's what works for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Like to me, vacation is work. To me, work is vacation.
Okay, I feel it.
When I'm at work, I don't feel like I'm working until the day is over.
But that's the thing, because you have to find something that you love that much to be able to do. Everyone doesn't do that. Everyone doesn't have the desire to do that because it requires stepping out your comfort zone.
Yeah.
So for what we all do in this room, we found what we love, and that's all we need.
Yep.
Like, I know you would do this if nobody paid you tomorrow. It don't matter.
Yep. I would still shoot videos. Yeah.
When I go on vacation, bro, you know how when you work that job in college or whatever, and you like watching the clock, like, 2 more hours.
Right,
bro.
Nah, facts.
That's how I am on vacation. Well, I might need therapy, bro, but like when I'm on vacation, by day 2 or 3, I'm like,
you ready to go home?
Time to go back.
Oh shit! I got 14 hours before that flight, man. I gotta get back. So, I mean, man, maybe it's just a curse. But just to switch gears a little bit, from a production standpoint, who's your dream? I want to know who's your dream placement, one. And I think these could be 2 answers. Who's your dream placement for one song? And who's your dream placement to do a whole project with?
Ooh, okay. Dream placement for one song. So I'd love to work with Rihanna.
Back outside.
Listen, they saying she in the studio. I
That's
don't
what
know.
I'm saying.
I don't know if that's her man's project or if she.
Nah, she in the studio.
Yeah, so
I can confirm.
hey, okay, see, that's what I'm trying to work with Rihanna, and then doing a whole project. Man, I would love to do a project with maybe like Blast or Ty Dolla $ign.
Nah, like that's a great
Yeah.
That's a great pick because it's like your style of like beats, bro. I could see you doing some like stuff for like Blast,
Yeah.
Bino, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Like that type of LA wave. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Do you have a preference of like singers or rappers, or is it like
Oh yeah, I prefer singers all day.
all day?
All day, because I came up being a musician, and so I work with singers all the time, and it's just something different. Like, one thing about a record, you're gonna remember the hook of the record.
Yeah.
And it's being sung. You're gonna remember the melody. People sing the melody. They might not even know the words to the song.
Bro, as soon as the verse starts, they don't remember it. But like they remember the hook.
That's what I'm saying. So like, man,
they remember the hook.
Working with singers, that holds a special place in my heart. I've come into the game working with rappers, and so I have love for the art of rapping, because everybody can't rap. But it's something special especially when I get to play keys and a singer is singing. It's just pure magic every time.
That's funny, because I was having this conversation with it's a production group out here called Starting Five. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
No,
but they produce thump shit for 42 Doug and ESTG.
Okay.
And the reason why that always sticks out to me, and if you haven't heard it, you'll listen to it after.
Yeah.
He's a real trap heavy person.
Mm-hmm.
That specific song got maybe 10 sounds on it. And that's rare. It got a lot of keys. That's rare.
That is
number
rare.
one in rap now in general.
Yeah.
And number two for those two people.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, I was in the studio with him, like, bro, how did y'all get him to rap on this? And they was like, bro, he always want more musicality in his beats. But he just don't necessarily have them people
around
right at his disposal. So is that something that you would want to bring to a rapper, or do you think you just want to kill?
Nah, absolutely. I'd love to bring musicality to a rapper. In fact, my friends will laugh at this because I'm always the one that's trying to be more melodic in the session. They be like, nah, take this out. We don't need this. But for me, as many well-placed melodic sounds as possible, because it just gives the artist a new wave to rap on. It gives them a different texture that they're not used to hearing in their music. So I'm all for that.
It gives it soul.
Yeah.
Like, not to be cliche,
No,
but
no, for
like,
sure.
it
Soul
really
sounds.
gives it soul.
SoulSoundz.
Yeah.
So tell us, how you end up here
Man.
from Syracuse?
So I moved here for an internship. So Dina Marto owned 12 studios at that time. And I was wrapping up my master's degree. So I did a master's degree in music business at Syracuse. And we had to do an internship for the last part of it. So Shanti Das, who's an alumni of Syracuse, introduced me to Dina and helped me get an internship over there. So I came here, started that, and when I was an intern, I did everything. Like from the food runs to cleaning the bathrooms to being an engineer assistant, a PR assistant, an A&R assistant. So that gave me the complete view of the business. And that's the value for me in internships. I got to see everything. So even if I came here and I wasn't sure I wanted to be a producer, I got exposed to every aspect.
piece of the puzzle.
Yeah. And so
I'm a big intern proponent, man. I hate the way people act like intern slave work.
How do you feel about interns getting paid?
I don't feel like interns should get paid the first year, no matter what you're interning.
I agree.
Because I feel like to get to that point where we said we would do what we do for free,
Yeah.
you don't just do that on the success end.
Thank you.
So if you're not willing to do it for free when you have nothing to lose from it,
right,
then do you really love it? And if you don't really love it, how much are you really gonna dig into it?
Right.
Yeah.
I did free internships and paid internships. But even like today, we had the Parks and Recs department come by and they brought 50 kids by. And we're trying to build out the structure for this internship program. And I told them out the gate, I don't care what the city put up.
Right.
I'm not paying nobody the first 6 months. Whoever burns out or fades out in that 6 months,
right,
God bless them.
You weed them out.
That's how I want to weed them out.
Yeah.
Because if you don't breathe, if you breathe, eat, and sleep this, you'll do it for free.
Thank you.
That way, you're gonna do it on your best day and on your worst day, you're gonna give me the same effort.
Yeah.
When we add this money to it,
Right.
that's just gonna take you to another level.
Right.
And that's the easy part. So because when I was an intern, intern turnover is crazy, especially in a recording studio. So by the end, I interned for a year for free over at 12. And so many people went through the program. When it was over, I think there was like 3 of us left, maybe 3 or 4 of us. But everybody that was left is, I'm a producer, I'm a multi-platinum producer. A friend of mine, she's the director of digital at a label. Another friend, he's a successful A&R. Like everybody that was great at being an intern and was committed to the process, they're all winning now. So if we were paid, I don't think the same character would have been built. I don't think that we would have gotten the same amount of experience. I think the experience is completely different when you're getting paid for it. I have friends that were paid because there were paid interns there too. The people that were paid are no longer in the music business or they're not successful in the music business. It's those of us that worked for free.
It's intangible.
Right.
Like I don't know if it's any other way to describe it, right? Like
Yeah.
I studied music because I wanted to. Like, I got every XXL. I read album credits. I learned who the engineer was on Blueprint and Ready to Die. I learned who, the hitman was for Puff.
Word.
I know D-Dot by name. I know who Stevie J was before Love and Hip Hop. Like, I was a student of this thing because I loved it for free. So why wouldn't, if you can put me in a room with some of the best artists of my time, why I need $10 hour for that? Like, why is that my make or break? Right. You know what I'm saying? Even if I gotta go get another job.
Yeah.
If I can follow you, if I'm a young producer and I can come, I don't care if it's come wipe the board off of fingerprints.
Right.
If I can come be in your sessions and say,
be around.
I was there when JT vocals came in.
Ooh. Right.
That's value that you can't get anywhere. And once I do that for free, and that moment happens that just really opened my brain up to how close I am to this stuff, you can't stop that person. Like, I wake up in the middle of the night sometimes and check my phone at 3 o'clock and I'm like, man, I know I'm the only one up.
Yeah.
Caleb been on sent me. I'm talking about like 5 minutes earlier, like sent me a video or something or a set design. Dog, we love this shit.
Thanks.
And 90% of the stuff that we do, we don't get paid for because most of that is prep work.
Right.
You get paid on the back 10%.
Yeah.
Not the front 90%.
Right.
And I always be trying to find extra people to come in and like, I love trying to put people around Caleb because Caleb is such a good spirit.
Yeah.
He wants to give everybody opportunity. He wants to give everybody information.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to find people who like, even if we want them to work 1 week for free, bro.
They won't even work for a week.
Bro. Unless he's shooting Lil Baby that week.
Oh my God. And that's another thing. Let's talk about that. Like,
bro, like
for the clout.
Yeah, it's like, I already know what you about to say. It's like people do a lot of things these days specifically for the look and who's around versus like just doing it for the art. Like, you actually make music because that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Whether that's Beyonce or if I'm in the studio. You just enjoy making music.
It's
you know
true.
what I'm saying? Like, it really don't matter. And it's like, we in this day and age to where like, they have to do it because somebody else is there.
Right.
Or they want to be in this person's presence or that person's presence that's already made it. And it's like, with that person, it's like, again, they've already gotten to this point. Like, they're not trying to build with nobody for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Especially for like, quote unquote, the old heads or people that's already been A-list for like 5 years. Yeah. They already got their team. They're not looking for new people. And, you know, for people out there, like, just find the new artists that's on the rise and build with them. Like, that's what people should be focusing on. But
that's facts. Caleb and I've been on the same shoot with an artist, an indie artist, and the artist is a nobody. I produced the record. I think Caleb was doing a promo video or shooting. Yeah. And you approached the project with the same professionalism that you would approach it with Lil Baby.
Yeah.
That's the point. And people, they're not willing to do that. They're not willing to put that time in. And you could have been shooting Lil Baby tomorrow.
Yeah.
It don't matter.
It's the same energy.
You know what I think the real issue is? We've ran out of love.
Ooh, okay.
Like, all across the board, everything we just talked about so far is like a lack of love.
It is.
It's a lack of love for work. It's a lack of love for just finding whatever your passion is. It's a lack of love for partnership. It's all the love for attention and validation, and we've gotten caught up in that. And I'm like, I remember I was talking to this girl, right? And I'm like, so what if I gave you $1 million today, your life, at least your year, hopefully, is set. What would you do with your time? You couldn't tell me. I'm like, if you turn on, who a new art? If you turn on a blast record right now, with a sample in it that I don't know, and I like the sample,
right,
bro, I'm gonna know that sample. I'm gonna find that sample before the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I'm not even a producer. I just love the art of the composition. If you give me $1 million right now, you know what I'm gonna do?
What you gonna do?
I'm gonna put it right back in this building.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And it's just like with you, it's like, obviously you're gonna take care of the family or whatever, but like the main thing is like, you probably gonna invest in some way in the music.
Coming right back, yeah.
Exactly. Because you know that's gonna make you another 10 million.
And you can go have fun, bro. Go to South Beach for a week.
Yeah.
Cool. Like, go do whatever you want to do.
That's what you was saying. Like,
Yeah.
you got to get back. So, like,
Yeah.
I get $1 million. Cool. We're going to go travel the world. We're going to do all
Right.
that. But at the end of the day, I'm going to be back right here.
Right.
Making these records.
Yeah, yeah,
because I love
yeah.
it. And the cool thing about that is the time freedom.
Yeah.
So, like, that's crazy how she didn't know what she wanted to do. Can you imagine how much, if we didn't have to worry about anything else,
Bro.
and we have all the time in the world,
Bro.
there's literally no bill, no expense that we have to worry about,
Yeah.
what we'd be willing to do?
Right.
Bro, Caleb know this for a fact. Will had the studio 18 months.
Yeah.
Last June, my laptop got stolen out of the car.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I had finished my first book.
Here.
Damn.
Here, outside, in broad daylight, right? I haven't had time to rewrite this book.
Mm.
And I look at, like, I was talking to my management partner, and I'm like, he's like, bro, you gotta get the book done, you gotta get the book done. I say, this is why people get book advances.
Right.
The book advance, even a record, even an album advance, is to give you that $1 million
Right.
or whatever it is,
Yeah.
so you can free up a month to just do exactly what you passionate or what you say you passionate about.
Yeah.
Like, if I could go somewhere for 30 days and write that book, and I know that this is not gonna suffer because I've had the money. I didn't have to go hustle to make sure everybody get
Right.
bookings, everybody make sure they get paid, make sure all the sets get done. Bro, I know exactly what I would be doing. I know what I would do first. I know what I do after I complete that. Like, how much time I got? I got another week? Okay, cool.
Say
Right.
less.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
like we got another
Yeah.
9 concepts that, like, that's in me. And I think a lot of people really just have, I think before social media and before phones and everything, you had so much time on your hands that you had to find
Right.
something. You had to find an outlet. You had to find something to care about. Now everybody's just like, all right,
I think we too plugged in.
we too plugged in.
For real. Like,
we too plugged in to be distracted.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. It's just too much.
Right.
And the thing is, you have to be a really strong-willed person
Right.
to be able to rise above that noise and still do what you need to do. A lot of people get sidetracked and distracted by that.
Yeah.
And then they can't even fulfill whatever their destiny is supposed to be.
Yeah. So just to pivot real quick, man, just to take it back to the music a little bit, like, so people ask me all the time specifically, like, yo, like, how did you get this J. Cole video? Like, how did you work with Kanye? Like, how did you do this? How did you do that?
Yeah.
Like, and they always think like, oh, like, somebody just handpicked you to
Right.
do this.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it.
they always think it just comes that way, which it never does, by the way, if people are curious. Like, what's been your favorite placement, for one? And then the second part of that question is, like, what was that process to even getting that placement?
My favorite placement to date is 5-5
Okay.
by Tusi and Lotto.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite because that placement was one of the first examples of my sound being mainstream, being an artist single, and that validated me. Like, industry-wise, like, I've
Yeah.
been me the whole
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
But for that to get that critical acclaim and to be chosen like that, that was a big moment for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah.
Fire.
What was the second part of your question, bro?
Just like, you know, how did that process even come about for them to choose you? You know what I'm saying, specifically for
Yeah.
that?
So I'm always gonna come back to networking, bro.
Yeah.
It's all about who you know.
Right.
Is the beauty that I found about the music business is that I don't have to know everybody.
You don't.
As long as I know somebody that knows somebody that can get it
Yeah.
in front of the person, I'm good.
Yeah.
So how that came about is bro sent the sample in.
Yeah.
I did my 1-2, put all the keys and all the melodics on it. And then, in fact, I think Tusi and them was locked in here in Atlanta. They was just going crazy. And
Shout out Tusi.
Yeah,
Tusi
for
came here a
sure.
couple times.
Oh, for real.
Yeah.
Shout out Tusi, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Tried to buy my car.
For real.
That blue Challenger.
Yeah.
You try to buy it off?
Yeah.
He can get it now, though. What's up?
I shot a couple videos with him too. He cool.
Word,
Good people.
yeah,
Good
man.
people.
Yeah, man. He dope. So that's how, man, networking and collaboration. That's king. You will get so many more opportunities.
Right.
Be a dope person, have good energy, and just be cool to be around. Do good business with people.
Right.
That's the other thing, man.
I'm gonna say this for the people that's watching, like, you never have to be the best at what you do. You just have to be the most resourceful and also the most trusted. Like, it got to a point where you was like the most trusted person.
Right.
Right? You know what I'm saying? When it came to like producing and delivering and meeting deadlines, and I'm pretty sure it's a lot of like back end, like, you know, red tape and stuff that you got to get through, that you did all of the groundwork, right?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Versus like, you probably know at least 10 producers who probably as dope as you are,
Right.
but they didn't do the work, bro.
Right. And then be mad.
And they be mad at you like, yo, it ain't my fault. I did exactly what I needed to do by the book.
Right.
And this is how I got here.
Yeah.
You know what
Follow
I'm
the
saying?
format.
That's it. You follow the format.
That's it, man. Live up to your potential.
Right.
But do the work. And that's
Yeah.
the thing. Like how Trav was saying.
Yeah.
This time, this generation now, I don't know what it is.
I know what it is. It's these phones, man, and Instagram. Like, everything is about instant gratification.
Right.
Like, you see an artist just come out of nowhere, and in 6 months, he got like $1 million. Like,
Right.
You used to have to be great to be known.
Yeah.
It's just, man, listen, like, shout out to Ice Spice.
Yeah.
She went crazy.
Yeah.
But that's a perfect example
Right.
of, like, you get the Drake cosign, life starts going crazy.
Right.
But did you have the background in the craft, in the industry, the networking?
Did you even have a back catalog for people to go find?
Right.
Yep.
Right. So are you prepared for that moment when it hits you?
Right.
That's the big question. And so you got to have the background. You got to put that time in.
Yeah. So I wanted to dive into like you a little bit more. Like, obviously, you know, by your government name is Caleb,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But like, why SoulSoundz? Like, what made you decide on like that name? You know what I'm saying, specifically as a producer or a composer.
So when I was in college, I was in a band.
Okay.
And originally it started out as a bunch of my musician homies from church.
Yeah.
And one of our other friends, he was a singer, so he would start writing his own records. And my boy Josh hit me. He was like, "Yo, you want to play keys for the group?" I'm like, "Sure, I'll play keys." And so eventually it went from that to us playing like local clubs and open mics and all that. And so actually he came up with that name, SoulSoundz, as we called the band. Fast forward, I think like a year, we all kind of went separate ways. We're doing our own thing around the city. The band wasn't a thing. So I kept the name and was just doing my music stuff around that. And then I decided to make it my producer name.
Yeah. It makes sense if you look at it like this. It's like, even though you was playing keys within the band, like as a producer, you're composing the entire production of the band and just tying it in with the brand name.
One side.
So,
For sure. And that's like, I was, and you know, from church, I was an MD, I was a music director.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, rehearsal's my responsibility, making sure everybody know their parts, picking the songs. Like, that's producing from when I was, like 19, 20 for these big churches, for college choirs and all that. So it's really the same craft. The funny thing is skills are transferable. Like, all of that brought me to where I am today. And like you said, it's the same thing. Okay, so I compose a record. I already know now what I want the bass to do. I already know what I want the strings to do. I can tell a guitar player, hey, play this lick. Like, and that's bringing back to what you said before about being a musician, respecting other producers that are musicians, because when I'm in a session, I can tell a guitar player exactly what I need. Play this chord, play this line, do this scale, whatever it is to get it done. Everybody can't do that.
Exactly.
So that just makes the process that much easier.
Yeah.
And you know, one of the things that I've just picked up in that is, and I know you don't have to go to college to get money.
You don't.
You should go to college. Don't teach you how to get money. College actually teach you how to save money, because it teaches you how to build a network, and then it can teach you like the actual classwork of how to, you know, do your LLC, how to run your business. But what I'm realizing is a lot of people undervalue that 4 years of you getting to do whatever you want to do all day. There's no other time in your life where you're gonna be that free. Like, yeah, you gotta go to class, but you essentially have 10 to 14 hours a day.
Do whatever you want.
To do whatever idea you want to go, all right, me and my boy, we just gonna wing it. Like, imagine if somebody wanted to start a band with you now. And they can't get you to go sit around and just and play around
Nah.
for the
Not at
next
all.
6 months to
Not
figure
at
it
all.
out.
What are we doing, bro?
Right.
How much is the studio time? Like, how many days you need me there? What
Right.
is the plan? What is the
Right.
budget around the plan? But in college, you can literally like trial and error
That's
and
the
be
beauty
around
of it.
some of the best people at whatever dorm or whatever school or whatever class you walk into. Those are those are the people who are going to be the next world leaders in that realm.
Yeah.
And you get to be around them every day.
Yeah.
Essentially for free, because most of the actual students not paying for their education, at least on the front end.
Right.
So it's no other place like it, man.
So I know we only got a few minutes left, but what are some exciting things that you have in the works that you want to just kind of share, talk about?
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
So right now, I'm really excited. I'm starting to work with songwriters
Okay.
and other producers, looking for new songwriters to sign and to work with,
Fire, bro.
indie artists
Yeah.
to work with.
Yeah.
Really, at this point now, my goal is to build catalog of records, much like how Hitmaker moves.
Yeah.
Like, that's the space I'm in right now. I'm trying
Yeah.
to sell records, not beats.
Right.
And so
Right.
that's the space I'm in, building that catalog with other producers, songwriters, tapping in with new rising artists, and then just launching out, man. The thing about me is I want to surpass music. I want to transcend music.
Yeah.
So yeah, we all have what we do in art, but business, like moving into trucking, moving into real estate, moving into stocks and all of that.
Why limit yourself?
Yeah, why?
Why limit yourself? Especially once you've mastered your craft.
Exactly.
And you've mastered the schedule needed for that craft. It's optimized. So now I can go do something else.
Right.
Versus somebody who might just be trying 20% at all these different things at one time and they never actually master anything. You've mastered this piece of it.
Right.
So now it's time for me to go master something else. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Exactly.
So where can we find you on social media, websites, all that, you know what I'm saying? Give yourself a shout out.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
Listen, at SoulSoundz on everything. At SoulSoundz _ on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that, soulsoundz.com. Yeah, reach out to me if you want to work, if you want to collab, hit me. Let's get it.
Cool.
Another episode of Change Agent, dog. I'm Trav.
It's Caleb.
Appreciate y'all, man. We'll catch y'all next time.
Get it.